Are you proud of me, considering how scared I am of heights? No! I need to get this portfolio done, and it's coming from in there. So I'm somewhat terrified of this loft. I seriously hate this loft. I seriously hate this loft. Update, I'm so terrified of heights and I have to jump over this chasm to get to everything. I'm so scared of heights. I think I'm gonna make a game plan before I actually go and get stuff. I think over there is the bulk of my art stuff. Also, every time I open this loft hatch, a nasty spider appears in my room. I hate spiders. I made it across. Yay! I seem to have a recollection that we put my art under this cover so it wouldn't get destroyed, but I didn't actually know. Like, I don't really know what's in here despite I did the loft out not that long ago, so yeah. I think we're just gonna, let's just take a peek and see. Oh yeah, that's my art. Figure out how to get all of this down the hatch for myself. Why do I do this myself? It's not even like a brand new day, it's the evening and I've already done stuff today and I was like, ooh, let's be productive. Okay, now I've got to get back over. Bearing in mind, I am not the most nimble person and I can't lean on the pipes. And I'm terrified of heights, and this floor's really slippy. Yeah, I'm doing kind of like the splits. Well, I'm definitely not doing the splits. Feels like I'm doing the splits though. Oh, I'm so scared of heights. Okay. Now, let's get all of that down. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out. Okay, I don't want my pants squished, so we're gonna move this. Scared I am of heights. I'm so terrified about spiders in my hair. Like I'm done. You already get that feeling. You know it's not real, but like. Studio, so let's go. Remind me never to do that again. I'm gonna deal with this tomorrow. This is tomorrow's problem. At least it's not in my room. So the first thing is definitely I need to work out what art I want to keep. As in, no, not what I want to keep, what art I want in the portfolio. I believe I've got some in here and I've got some under my desk here. Oh yeah, I did some more photography. I went to my local Sainsbury's and I felt so weird doing this, but oh yeah, I never finished this. I was proud of the way it was turning out though, but I wish I'd finished it. But honourable mention, I did some collagraphs. They were quite fun. I quite enjoyed the outcome of this one. Certainly, maybe I would put this on the website. It's quite fun. The colours are quite fun. I wouldn't put any of the others on. I believe I did some beading Yeah, I did bead some of these. I think this one's probably the most interesting. Maybe that one, I'm not sure. This design. I did some printing. Yeah, this will definitely go on the website. I'd forgotten that I did these. I did these little like panels. And I did this, then like I did all these like mound of unicorn horns, and I realised I hated the face. But like, I'd so forgotten I did these. Yeah, I preferred this one. But then it was too thick to sew, so I had to do that one. But I wish I'd like kept this head. I prefer this head. These were some realism studies I did. Don't think I'll put them on the website, but they're kind of cool. This I am quite intrigued by. And then these were some of the practice sketches I did for my final piece. Okay, this is stylization. This is definitely more what I want to put in. I don't know how much of this I will put in. I might do like a thing to show like the sketch versus the final thing. And then these are where all my prints begin for my final piece. Okay, I think I have all the physical art out of this that I want. There's definitely some that I've taken photos of that I'm gonna have to find. I don't know if they're necessarily here. They might be on the walls. Like for example, some art I've given away that I'm gonna have to like, obviously not ask for back, but just get back so I can take good photos of it. So that was a cute little trip down memory lane, but I now need to actually put things together, and as sentimental as I am about things, I need to be very, very critical, because remember, we're curating. We're not just putting any old thing onto this website, we're curating. So I've sorted my art into a yes. That is also a yes, but not all of it is a yes. And also a maybe pile. And there are certain things on the walls, so the two cards. Well, actually I've got the original piece one of those cards, but that card up there, I might think about incorporating some of those designs. Maybe that print too, I'm quite fond of it. And also those two paintings, not paintings, pieces that I did. So yeah, I definitely need to print what I did last video properly. I think I also want to finish my second idea for that, which again I just need to sketch out and print. So I think I might do that as well. I need to take good photos of these, but I think I need to, before I do that, I also need to iron some of them. I didn't exactly store them that well. The fabric things, because I thought it was cats, but I'm so glad I kept them, because now that I'm looking back, I'm like, yes, I'm glad I kept those, because actually that is what's valuable. So I want to try and find my old liners. I know they're somewhere. I'm pretty sure they're in this box here. Maybe they're not. Well, they're in one of these boxes. I've got this box and another box. So this is the other box I have. I'm really hoping they're in here, because otherwise I don't know where they are. This is bits of paper that I have. Okay, they're not in there either. I have a really bad feeling I got rid of them. Which means all I'm left with is the prints, which is annoying because I want to reprint stuff. I'm sure I didn't get rid of them. I know they're somewhere. I just don't know where they are, which is quite disturbing. Well, not disturbing, but it's annoying. I know there is more of my art in the loft. I just don't know where. So I don't really want to go back up and find it. Darling Annie, I realised I didn't say a crucial part of this process, which was I realised that I didn't have enough of the specific niche that I was going into for a website, so I decided to really focus on getting the Daniel project done, and my thought was if I completed it then altogether it might be enough, but I realised upon doing that this just wasn't, this is going to be a two-part thing, so yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. Today I'm starting the next lino. I'm going to be looking at my Nebuchadnezzar option for Nebuchadnezzar's statue, so I'm going to find in my old sketchbook the references I made, if I can find them. So this was one reference, just a quick study, and then, oh yes, this was my sketch that I did, tools I'm going to be using to start off with. And then in this sketchbook, so it looks like I haven't actually started to do any characterization yet. So that is what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with some characterization. So first, because sometimes I find that when I draw and I just start, I tend to increase the size of things as I keep drawing. So I like to rough out where things should be first, so I know that I'm staying in proportion. So now that I've done this, I can now take this and try and stylize it with the style of the Babylonian things, which, where's my, here we go. So for this one, I very much am wanting to go for the statue style, after this style, which is what I did for the other option. This is more of like a wall relief style, whereas this is more specific statues. So I'm really going to pay attention to these kind of notes I made, because this is the type that I want to emulate for this. So this is going to be a very different design process than what I did. I think I'm going to take a different pencil. Maybe not that sharp. This is I got this recently. It's an Otto sharp pencil, and I really like it. It self-sharpens, although I've blunted it a bit because I want to take advantage of the thick lead, but it means that it doesn't like get dull in a certain way, and you can sort of sharpen inside, or I could sharpen it with a knife if I wanted to, but yeah, and it's a really nice thick chunky lead, which, yeah, I really like. I don't know if you can see, but I like this pencil. So I think I'm going to start with the head. I know okay, so I am now going to go over this with a tracing paper and a thicker fine liner so that I can, all the adjustments that I was making. Actually, will this scrap work? Oh, look at that, perfect size. And that is why you should always keep your scraps, because you never know. To make the head a little bit bigger, I think it feels a little bit out of proportion. I did mention that, didn't I? I have a tendency to get bigger as I go down, so that is more in proportion than that is, but the head is the same size, but the body is bigger. So yeah, we're gonna fix that. So in fact, maybe I should fix that first. I do definitely. I'm certainly not going to squash it. Oh, look at that, perfect fit. That is absolutely perfect. Great, I haven't had to use a whole new piece of lino, because for context, I bought a pack of 2 pieces of A4 lino and that cost me 24 quid. So that's £12 per sheet of lino, which is quite expensive. So if I can reuse as much of it as I can, that is definitely a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to use cheap ink again. I think I said this in my last video. I really don't need that much because I'm only just doing this. I always use cheap ink for the testers because ink is expensive, so I want to save as much as I can. I'm going to use a roller. This is actually a piece of glass that came out of a photo frame that we were getting rid of. It was like one of those multi-photo frames that had like 12 pieces of glass in it. It's literally so useful for inking up. Before that, I was always like inking up on. I was just doing it on paper, which is such a waste because, of course, it like. The thing was flat. You want to get this tacky sound, which I have. Waste ink. Okay, that ear definitely looks better. I mean, I know this image has like moved again, but yeah, that definitely looks better. More like an ear. Okay, I'm pleased with that. Oh, now I just realised you can see the whole thing. Never mind. Okay, I am going to. I can't currently print this one. Ah, sorry, my skirt's getting in the way. I'm going to print these 3 on the fabric that I want to print on because these are all in the same ink, so I might as well get that done now. These 2, this one is going to be in red ink, though actually I do want to try doing this one in the same ink too, so maybe we'll print this in this one, then wash it and do red. And I also want to do these in red. I think I'll do all of these in the same colour and then I will try with the red for these 2. This is more tricky because this is going to have multiple colours, and I only have these 2 rollers, so I need to buy some more rollers. I've put an offer in for a set of 5 on eBay, which would be perfect for me, but we'll see if they respond. Because these rollers are kind of expensive. Like, I think this might be £7-8 per roller. Well, if I need like 4 more, that's super expensive. So I put in an offer for £15 on a bundle of 5 of these. So we'll see if that gets taken because that would just be really convenient for me. For these, I'm going to be using this burnt umber. And I need to set this up so that I have my, and again, I really don't need that much. I can always put on more if I need to. Obviously I can never take ink away. Okay. So with this, again, I know this looks black, but it is actually dark brown. And that does actually make a difference. So this is the tacky sound. You don't want it to slide. You want this tacky sound. Okay, it's on my nail, never mind. I really probably should do this with a sheet of paper underneath. That would be smart. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've placed him and I don't want him to move. So, because I know that with these small linos, it has a tendency to walk, which is what leads to that like double print effect that you get that I was having on the Neb statue. Now this is not fabric ink, so I cannot wash these, but I don't want them to for this project, so that doesn't matter. Oh no, I have a feeling that one may have shifted. Oh, it has. Okay, I might be able to clean it up though online. Okay. That's not bad for a first attempt. I definitely need way more ink on that because that is not particularly visible. Yay! Okay, it's definitely not as clear, but it definitely worked well. Ugh, and my hands are filthy. I'm starting to wonder if this fabric is a little bit thick for what I want, and whether the grain is actually distracting from the image, whether this would just be better done on like a really nice cream paper. Because I'm thinking that actually for this book to go over the whole, I'm going to need the grain of the fabric to match. And I realised that I've now printed that upside down for that. So that's going to... Obviously if I reprint Daniel it's not a big deal, but it's then upside down to the back cover, so I don't quite know if that's going to... I mean, maybe you could do a fun zigzag thing. Also, this is like a bit dirty there. I think I'm going to have to come back to this. This is definitely not done. In cutting up the trousers to make ready for the second printing, I've actually realised that this, what I'm showing you now, is the back side. This is what I was printing on, and you can see it's got a very diagonal grain, but the back is much more what I want. It's still got that mulled fabric, but the grain is along, which means that like there's less, the book is going to match up easier depending on which way I don't need to worry about which orientation I print it. So as long as I print it straight. So that's really quite helpful. And I should have enough room to print everything again. I don't have loads of room, and if I get this wrong, that's it. I'll have to find something else. So it's quite a bit of pressure, but yeah, we'll see. So as you will have seen, I haven't exactly got my portfolio fully together. I have come to two decisions. One, that I am going to apply for the online degree. So I need to go through my portfolio again and look at it with a different objective, as opposed to just choosing for a website. And two, that I don't quite have enough for a website yet. Not that I don't have enough work, but I don't have enough of what I specifically want to go into. I've been researching businesses and things, and I've been realising the importance of having a niche, and I need to make sure that my art fits within that niche that I'm going to put on. So I also realised that I hate cleaning this specific ink. It's a real faff. So I'm kind of having to reschedule my schedule so that my printing all gets done on one day, so all my prints can be cleaned at the same time, which means that instead of doing things in a very linear way, which I'd sort of come to I needed to do to be more organised, I'm having to do things in a bit more of a sporadic way, which for me is more natural, but I am going to have to be really organised with what I do. So yeah, let me know if you guys will. I will certainly give a part 2 to this, but I think I'm probably going to launch my website around Christmas. Next week's the end of April. I'll give you a little teaser for next week's video. I am doing a book reading challenge. It's like Project Pan but for books, so that's going to be I try to update that once a month. Also, something else is, now that it's not Easter anymore, not Easter holidays, certainly where I am, Sunday school is back on, so I'm back on with the craft for that. So like, I don't know if you guys want Sunday school craft ideas, videos. I could certainly do with watching some, because I need to get some ideas, so maybe we'll do some of that too. Yeah, so I've got a few ideas, so yeah, thank you for watching this very chaotic video. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you enjoyed having it on in the background, whatever you're doing, and I hope you all have a lovely week.